When customers of America's 4 largest banks visited their local branches on Tuesday, many were greeted by unfamiliar sights, activists in rocking chairs blocking the entrances. Hundreds of older American citizens gathered in Washington to protest against 4 of the country's largest financial institutions, cutting up their credit cards in an act of defiance meant to condemn the bank's funding of oil and gas projects. Senior climate activists of the Old and Bold Third Act movement marched to the downtown D.C. branches of 4 targeted dirty banks: J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. They then staged a die-in to symbolize the global threat posed by fossil fuels. Demonstrators sat in painted rocking chairs as they chanted, "Cut it up." The cry was directed at people slashing their credit cards outside the bankers or the bank's branches.
Make sure the banks know that we care, that we're watching them, we're watching how they invest their money. What's interesting is that the U.S. banks have chosen not to follow European banks in terms of divestment from dirty energy, from fossil fuels. They know better, and they're making billions and billions of dollars off of harming our planet when there's other ways to do good business, to do it ethically for the common good for generations to come. That's why I'm here.
I'm dressed like fire because our big banks that we have trusted with our money have been using our money to burn the planet.
The elders-led march was joined by younger activists. It was part of a national campaign to pressure banks to stop financing fossil fuels.
Much of the infrastructure that's created by the fossil fuel industry, that infrastructure that harms us, is oftentimes adjacent to poor neighborhoods, to neighborhoods of color that oftentimes are disenfranchised and don't have the power to speak against such powerful interests.
Activists started planning the protests well before the March 10th failure of Silicon Valley Bank. But in its wake, consumers and businesses have poured tens of thousands of dollars into the coffers of the nation's biggest banks because of their perceived safety, making the demonstrations more timely. The protest also came one day after the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released its report, warning that the world must take swift action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions or face catastrophic and irreversible damage to the planet. This has included sea level rise in several inches, extinction of hundreds of species, and migration of millions of people from places where they can no longer survive.
Yeah, and I work with Honor the Earth.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.